Welcome back here from the office and continuing the bringing you the latest developments of the amazing Vodafone saga. Here our internet. We previously already shared some details, like sending us an IPv6 cable and a new modem, and that doesn't work out of the box. And also the recurring theme here, drop frames. And we have a contract for 550 Mbit down and upstream, and we usually often only get 2. So for 2 years here for this channel, we're already complaining to Vodafone support. They already refunded us for the last 6 months or so, maybe 7 or 8, since last October or something, half of the monthly fees because they can't fix it. And then the latest update, right? So everything's already shit. I mean, and you would wonder, why do we still have this? The problem is here in this area, we don't get anything else. No Telecom VDSL. The Telecom has here only regular DSL in the middle of Berlin, right? So in the heart, the center of our freaking capital, you either get 16 Mbit Telecom DSL or this garbage. Well, previous video I mentioned I could pay Versatel or so over 1,000 euro just for connection, and then monthly 400 something for some fiber optics. But yeah, anyway, the latest. Everything is sort of running and relatively okay-ish. I finally leave Berlin after sitting here 1 year. The recurring subscribers know we got a child 1 year sitting here in this pandemic, meeting nobody, going nowhere, just walking between home and office. Finally, after over 1 freaking year, we finally leave Berlin as the pandemic numbers somewhat down. Finally enjoy, you have seen this in the last videos maybe, finally enjoy some sunny days, and then oops, email doesn't work anymore, because obviously we have some things in the data center, but some things like email thought it's maybe not that someone data center, you never know. Email in the office I thought not the worst idea, and the licensing server, those general data protection stuff, I thought maybe the licensing server stuff. I thought in the end I've run stuff from a home service for 20 years previously, DSL, SDSL, other DSL. And I have to say this DOCSIS Vodafone stuff is the worst unreliable piece of garbage. Well, it is sort of fast. I need to give them credit for that. At least the downstream also, we usually get like 500-ish plus or minus, but I don't even need this downstream. I need freaking upstream, and upstream is usually 2 Mbit. You've seen this drop frames. So yeah, Wednesday, email doesn't work anymore. I said, yeah, probably it will work in an hour or 2. Of course it doesn't. I open a ticket, call them there from the other side of Europe. It's like, hello, garbage DOCSIS stuff. Oh yeah, we have a big outage there. Yeah, we're working on it. Yeah, tomorrow. Next day, of course, it doesn't work. I call them, yeah, we're working on it tomorrow. Maybe I recorded the last. So, and then after 4 days yesterday, obviously I can't run a company. Of course, some stuff like the basic websites and stuff, but if customers can't activate the software licenses and I can't read email, and other people also working. Also, there was tax due to the 10th. Basically, we usually submit tax on the 8th, 9th, need to submit it until the 10th. Every freaking month. That's a little bit annoying. And yeah, just when my folks wanted to submit tax, I need to access files and security certificate for this amazing Elster stuff and so on. It's like, yeah, can't do tax and accounting and stuff because, yeah. So thank you very much. So yeah, yesterday, after 4 days, it was 4 days of outage, right? Also amazing business stuff, right? I have to, of course, sure, I need to blame myself. I should have had better backups. Actually, I was considering with all the Vodafone hiccup stuff to move more stuff to the data center, and now I will, because it's lesson learned. Because internet outages have real-world consequences, right? You can't work, you can't sell, you can't even report freaking tax. And that's what people don't get, right? This old-fashioned coal head there, dinosaurs sitting there, like, yeah, internet, there's just some TikTok and Instagrams, like, yeah, sales, tax, email, telephone. It's like, thank you very much, amazing stuff. And that's what we have business for, right? I just realized, by the way, they advertise here SOS, Express, Entstörung, Express fixing of issues. In 8 hours, yeah, thank you very much. 8 hours multiplied by 3 for 24 hours multiplied by 4 days plus. And the thing is, they can't even tell me, right? Each day is like, yeah, we're working on it tomorrow, maybe. I can't, or actually, after 2 days, they started telling me, yeah, I can't tell you. It's like, and I asked them like a week, a month, like, yeah, I don't know. So thank you for that business. And recurring theme here, why do I even show this? First of all, if you need internet in Germany, then I'm sorry for you, better migrate elsewhere. I heard Romania has amazing internet, or South Korea, or Taiwan. Hey, Taiwan has amazing internet. And even my friends in France, their DOCSIS, where we stay sometimes, amazing stuff, right? France Telecom, 0-drop frames. And so yeah, France Telecom, yeah, thank you for proving that DOCSIS cable actually can work in contrast to this Vodafone shit. And sure, I need to take a little bit blame myself. I need to move the last stuff to cloud stuff in the, to serverless orchestrated stuff in the interwebs, just for that. Obviously, in the previous previous videos, I recorded a phone call with ASUS already and stuff. So I play with this. This is, and so the crazy thing is, so I got, and by the way, each day they told me, and by the way, I had people here coming, right? I had people, I was there, other side of Europe. I had people like resetting this stuff. I mean, what should they do, right? Also, like accountant and also not all of our programmers are in Berlin, obviously. Friend looked into it. It's like, yeah, I don't know. And by the way, if Vodafone tells me it's a global outage, so I arrived here I drove at 8. I drove 1,500 kilometers. Two highways closed through France. Hypermiling, of course, not too fast. Environment, right? Here all the way through Italy, Switzerland. Also, yeah, pandemic, right? Usually the fastest way, I drove even 1 hour longer to avoid a border crossing through Austria here. I was removing or was other. Yeah, so optimizing this, by the way, fun fact, no border crossing test stuff. So in case you're wondering, I wasn't stopped anywhere, thankfully. And due to the pandemic, relatively low traffic. So I think, yeah, 0 traffic jam. Did I ever stand somewhere? Maybe I make a video of talking about this stuff. So yeah, I arrived and I didn't even so what was my plan? My plan was I wanted to actually copy then emergency over LTE, the last services to data center. But to my surprise, I got it working last night, right? Because I was home and I even asked them, our home is not that far away here. And unfortunately, it's the same DOCSIS block apparently, because I even asked them there from down there. It's like, by the way, my home address there and there, does that work or not? And unfortunately, they told me, yeah, it's also because I said maybe I can carry our server stuff and have my people work from our home next week. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry, that also doesn't work. So I came home last night after driving 15 hours. 1,500 kilometers. At 1, arrived in Berlin. First, I thought I copy already the license server, but I was so tired. Went home, plugged in the Wi-Fi thing. Of course, I did disconnect it. And after first it didn't sync, but after like 10 minutes it synced. It's like, wait a second, they told me it's a global outage here in Rückkanal, or like back return channel distortion, whatever, something. And after that worked, it's like, wait a second. So then dedication, right? I even at nearly 2 then walked over to the office, resetted this thing yet again. Friends had done this already the previous days. And first it didn't sync, but eventually it freaking synced, right? So they told me it doesn't work. But yeah, it does. I'm actually live streaming this. So the irony is because probably most people are, most DOCSIS modems are currently not active on this block. I'm actually right now getting the best upstream ever, 20 Mbits, or 10 to 20 Mbits of our 50. So right now I'm live streaming, so the best YouTube live stream ever over DOCSIS failing Vodafone, because everyone else is probably off screen. I reset this shit and reconfigured it and restarted, it started to work. So the craziest thing, so this phone call I recorded like 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago. And they still think we are offline, right? I'm live streaming over this, and listen to this hilarious support.
Hallo und herzlich willkommen bei Vodafone. Nennen Sie mir bitte zuerst Ihre Kundennummer. geht. Mit der Nummer. Ich wiederhole 3. Richtig?
Ja.
Was kann ich für Sie tun?
Internetstörung.
In Ordnung, Internetstörung. Leider liegt bei Ihrem Anschluss derzeit eine technische Störung der Internet- und Telefondienste vor. Wir entschuldigen uns für die Unannehmlichkeiten und arbeiten bereits mit Nachdruck an der Behebung des Fehlers. In Kürze können Sie Ihren Anschluss wieder störungsfrei nutzen.
In Kürze, 5 days later.
Und was kann ich sonst noch für Sie tun?
Internetstörung. So the trick is, you think, this is by the way a scam.
In Ordnung, Internetstörung. Leider liegt bei Ihrem Anschluss.
I think they do this, that people hang up, but I found if you re-enter the menu a second time, you get then eventually a human, because I always thought how to reach someone, right? So really support dialogue scam to motivate people to hang up and not talk with someone. Hilarious.
Vielen Dank, der nächste freie Mitarbeiter ist gleich für Sie da.
So pro tip, just keep in the line and obviously 5 minutes waiting time trimmed for your viewing pleasure.
Schönen guten Tag, ich bin Michael Mölk, was kann ich für Sie tun?
Ja, guten Tag, Rebeck, Sackgut GmbH. Ich rufe an, weil wir jetzt schon den 5. Tag seit Mittwoch Internetstörungen haben, eigentlich einen Komplettausfall seit Mittwoch. Hier in der Firma ist eine GmbH mit Angestellten und Homeoffice und so, und da wollte ich jetzt mal fragen, wie der Stand ist, wann wir damit rechnen können, dass das wieder funktioniert.
Ich prüfe das mal, was wir im Moment drin haben bei uns.
And by the way, that is one of the more switched on. Usually I reach people who probably outsource somewhere who speak German with some accent and are totally not helpful. Just like, yeah, I put it into the system and have a good day. Hilarious. Such support should be, in my opinion, outlawed.
Okay, also das Ganze ist ja die Störung, die Sie haben, läuft ja, wird ja von einer Netzstörung verursacht, die dazu führt, dass Ihnen diese Störung auch aufgetreten ist. Ich habe jetzt keine direkte Möglichkeit hier von meinem System aus, habe ich keine Rückmeldung, wie lange das noch dauern wird. Aber ich kann eins machen, ich kann Ihnen einmal von der Fachabteilung, die die Störung leitet, eine Zwischeninfo zukommen lassen mit einer Prognose, wann voraussichtlich diese Störung die Ursache ist dafür, dass bei Ihnen das nicht funktioniert, endgültig beseitigt sein wird.
Ja, weil so viele Tage, also ich verstehe ja, dass mal was kaputt gehen kann, 24 Stunden, 48 Stunden, aber wissen Sie, 5 Tage, der 10. war Steuerabgabetermin in Deutschland, am 9. ist es ausgefallen, Homeoffice und so weiter, und generell, auch wenn jetzt nicht Homeoffice wäre, also 5 Tage und ohne Estimate, also Ihrerseits eine Angabe, wann das vielleicht funktionieren könnte. Das ist 5 Tage, but they promise 8-hour support resolution time, right? Express. Schon für einen Business-Anschluss jetzt nicht so eine herausragende Leistung.
Okay, gut, also es ist so, ich verstehe das, ich weiß auch, wir haben da also in diesen Bereichen, wird das meistens so gemacht, Sie haben ja Sie kriegen ja ein Störticket, da ist ja so ein Link drauf, über den Link ist eigentlich die Information, oder soll die Information da sein, dass Sie sich da informieren können, wie die Entstörung ist, aber weitere Möglichkeiten, dass da permanent irgendwelche Zwischeninfos kommen, das machen wir nicht.
Nee, ich will ja keine Zwischeninfo, ich will nur, dass meine kleine Firma, wissen Sie, ich habe Angestellte, laufende Kosten, und wir verkaufen ja nichts, ja, wir haben ein Internetprodukt, Mac und so Programme, wir können ja weder Kunden eine E-Mail schreiben, noch was verkaufen.
Ja, ich verstehe das, und deswegen, ich sage, das ist das eine, dass wir arbeiten ja mal dran, solche Störungen zu machen, nur wenn es eine Netzstörung, also eine externe Störung ist, in diesem Falle dann ist das immer manchmal nicht so einfach, so eine Entstörung durchzuführen, weil da verschiedene Ursachen der Fall sein können, und in den meisten Fällen ist die Entstörung etwas längerwierig, wenn die Fehlersuche schwierig wird.
Ja, weil
man die Störquellen finden muss, und da natürlich auch die Frage, wie sie entstört werden müssen. Und da kann es durchaus passieren, dass das etwas länger dauert, als uns allen lieb ist. Wir wollen ja auch nicht so lange hinauszögern, aber manchmal lässt sich das einfach nicht vermeiden.
Ja, wissen Sie,
wann genau das jetzt ist, oder was da ist, das, wie gesagt, ich lasse Ihnen jetzt die Zwischeninfo zukommen, nochmal von der Entscheidung direkt, dass Sie da wissen, wie das ist, aber wir arbeiten auch dran, also so ist es nicht.
ja, ich kann ja verstehen, wie gesagt, 24 Stunden, 48 Stunden, aber danach ist es wirklich, und wissen Sie, was das Schlimmste ist? Seit 2 Jahren, seitdem wir diesen Anschluss haben, weil wir auch YouTube-Videos produzieren und so, haben wir extra auf 500 Mbit Downstream, 50 Mbit Upstream abgegradet.
Ja.
Und nur Ärger. Ja, seit 2 Jahren müssen wir uns quartalsweise beschweren, dass wir nur 2 Mbit Upstream haben. Seit 2 Jahren sagen wir Ihnen, da ist was nicht in Ordnung. Seit 2 Jahren versprechen Sie uns Resegmentierung, dass es irgendwann besser wird. Ja, das sind jetzt schon über 2 Jahre. Wir kommen jetzt ins 3. Jahr, dass wir generell schon nicht zufrieden waren. Ja? Und Sie uns die Grundgebühr schon seit 6 Monaten zur Hälfte erstatten, weil Sie schon wussten, dass das nicht gut ist. Ja? Gut, aber dann lassen wir es damit. Ich weiß ja, dass Sie daran arbeiten und dann wünsche ich Ihnen einen schönen Sonntag bis dahin.
Ja, und wünsche ich Ihnen auch. Dankeschön.
Okay.
Bleiben Sie gesund.
Ja, Sie auch. Ja, tschüss.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, I made this phone call over the. I got it working already. I make this phone call over Wi-Fi calling. I live stream this with 6 Mbit better than ever before because probably everyone else is not online right now because they have not factory reset it. Of course, probably lucky. Lesson learned, recurring theme here, right? Infrastructure apocalypse and IT stuff, be it ransomware or shitty infrastructure, has real-world consequences for me. Obviously, spending €100 in diesel, company deductible, but money is away anyway. €30 in maut. What was it in English? Highway fees mostly in Italy. Obviously, Swiss has this nice sticker there that I already paid some 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's a day wasted. The crazy thing is, yeah, some people could say driving pleasure, but honestly, yes, driving a little bit through Europe can be nice, but hypermiling from Wannsee to the center of the capital of Berlin. When you already know that for 4 days your company is out of order is not the greatest fun. I could have raised that, but I neither like speed tickets from Switzerland, also hashtag Fridays for Future Rights. So it doesn't matter for me whether I'm 2 or 3 hours faster, which probably I wouldn't be, hypermiling and some slipstream and engine braking and stuff. Anyway, it doesn't change it much, but for me also, sure, I'm a little bit guilty myself. I should have not had run some last core services like email and license server here. That is, of course, on me. Shame on me there. I know better for the future. I will move more stuff to our data center, rented root server stuff, just for that. But the long story short, Toll, thanks for that. The long story short is also that this companies, whether it is Louis Rossmann's shit in New York, whatever that was it Sprint or Spectrum or whatnot, I'm already avoiding in the 90s, the end of the 90s, telecom was already the biggest shit on earth. Well, maybe followed after, maybe the second biggest shit on earth after AT&T or whatever that is in the US. But I already avoided telecom because, usually Germany telecom 20 years ago, or probably 10 years ago, not sure what it is today, but getting a new contract, usually like waiting 4 or 6 weeks, usually a minimum or something. And so the big companies, well, except France Telecom, I can't say anything bad. They're our friends, that works quite well. But otherwise, this is ridiculous. Also, how they treat your customers, right? If I would treat my customers like this, we wouldn't have had customers, similar to Louis Rossmann's experience in New York. And then also, I mean, theoretically, I should come back. But the recurring theme, right? Yeah, we have there some core network outage. We can't do anything. It's like, yeah, too bad. It's like, what do you mean? Is that not you had one job, right? This is your core business, right? also this always this excuse like, yeah, it's an IT issue, we can't do anything. It's like, yeah, you don't have anything who can do like freaking IT. Actually, I forgot that they have here advertised that. Actually, I should have asked what is, but the usual excuse is then like, yeah, but that is some, as he said already, some outside factor. They called me, as the first time they told me Rückkanalstörer, so like return channel. And so I was so like, what do you mean with that? Failing CRT monitor or someone intentionally or so? Or what do you even mean with like return channel or uplink, whatever? Like later on Twitter, because I also harass and ask the Twitter support there every 8 hours, because why not? They certainly need to feel some pain that customers are unhappy. So my Twitter support already every month, hey, our upstream still sucks. And now every 8 hours, like, hey, we are still offline. Hey, we are still offline. And on Twitter support, they told me they replaced one, they found like Rückkanalstörer, according to the Twitter support, allegedly some amplifier or something. So it's not like he said, as far as I remember, like external stuff. But on Twitter they told me, very theoretically, should I try? Usually I expose this. Usually that doesn't go well. I expose some private data then. But on Twitter, just to have this here properly documented. They said a faulty component so much to their external. It's like, yeah, we can't do anything. This is external, right? It's like, yeah, of course, I tease them then already a little bit. Where do we put this? Maybe on this side. It's like, yeah, not making this shit up. And of course, I tease them a little bit. I mean, in my opinion, this company also deserves this. Like, yeah, can someone? It's like, leider no new info. It's like, maybe someone can go and take a look. Freaking, like, yeah. I mean, obviously, I take this already. I mean, what should you do, right? For 20 years in, yeah, you would think high-tech country Germany is like, no, we have the freaking worst. Don't come here for the freaking internet. It's one of the worst. I mean, maybe North Korea it's worse, but maybe in the ranking before North Korea and Iran or somewhere. It's hilarious. Probably in Africa they have better internet than here. This is hilarious. Yeah, so and literally, also my opinion is gross neglectance, because for 2 freaking years we told them, hey, this shit is not working. For 2 years, hey, the upstream is shit. Hey, the upstream is shit. It wouldn't surprise me because hey, we live stream now is 5.5 Mbit, 0 freaking drop frames. This is first ever since 2 years. Usually the internet sucked here so much, the upstream sucked so much, usually 2 Mbit, that I already live streamed with only 2 Mbit, maximum 2.5. So I just, because I knew the whole block here is mostly offline, it's like, yeah, 5.5 Mbit. So allegedly, it would also not surprise me if that failing component is what's causing, for 2 years already, hey, for 2 years the shit sucks, right? So the first Rückwegstörer defect component so much to external shit. So yeah, I'm not making this shit up here. There's it black on white, not that Vodafone's use this later for false claims. No, it's all here black on white. I document this shit. And like Louis Rossman, I start to record phone calls because this is just too hilarious. I should have recorded all of them because usually they're like uncontrolled rambling. It's like, and the other thing is there is a business number, and first of all, if you call the normal number, they tell you you have a business account. Why don't you call the business number? But on the freaking invoice, they print the normal number. So on the normal support lines, they tell you there is a business number, right? So yeah, what is the freaking business number? Okay, it's that. So the crazy thing is, once they gave me a number, and then they told me, why do you even call here? This is only for DSL customers. You have a cable. It's like, yeah, but your freaking colleagues gave me this freaking number for business customers. But anyway, so I said, by the way, what's your freaking business number? Because and so the crazy thing is, they are so Scrooge McDuck coupe counting that this freaking business number for better business service goes also to the normal number. So I've not this year, not once did I reach business support. Maybe this was business support today, but the 10 times I called this week, there was always the normal support. I always ask them already, are you now the normal support or the business support? Because I always call the business support number and I always get end user support, and you always tell me, but you're the business customer. It's like, yeah, but that's what your amazing telephone service gets me to. Amazing stuff. But this is at least how you can tell YouTube stories. Really crazy shit. And together with the recurring theme here, the IT news, ransomware and other failing #peak bugs here at Apple and Microsoft and stuff, it is no wonder that everything goes to shit with everything managed in German we say auf Verschleiß gefahren. It's like everything is squeezed to the last cent and until the components fail right. Normally you would proactively check, or you would have management and reporting systems. I mean, why do I even, as one guy distribution and YouTuber guy with my small little company, why do I need to tell infrastructure companies how to freaking proactively service and proactively monitor your freaking shit infrastructure when already they knew for 2 years that our upstream is like garbage? It's hilarious, but anyway, it makes some YouTube entertainment. I hope you learned something. As usual, leave me in the comments below. I hope your internet is much more amazing than this piece of garbage. Vodafone, and we're not the only ones, right? If you were thinking this is a single thing, it was just in the news. Customer satisfaction here, probably May. Maybe this one, yeah, like customer union central stuff, high complaint level of support, and Vodafone is, yeah, in case you, it's like, no, we are not the only one. And again, we don't have something faster here. No, I can't work with Telecom 16 Mbit. Yes, I could spend 1,500 euro for Versatel fiber stuff plus 499 a month for fiber, but no, I'm not willing to spend this. I rather move stuff to data center and be done with it. Anyway, theoretically, maybe, I said this before, should we get a old VDub WAN and move our office there, drive through Europe, or a sailboat, because, yeah, this is, I come to the conclusion, like some other YouTubers say, maybe life in a van or in a sailboat or in a cabin in a forest, like some amazing Canadian YouTubers. Maybe more amazing, and then you don't need freaking internet stuff, and it just runs this shit in the cloud and serverless in many servers in the cloud. And yeah, so that's it for this video, probably long enough. I hope you learned something, theoretically, maybe a minute through here. Evergreen, serverless, yes, this is my running gag, of course, serverless. I only throw this in. I run this serverless in the cloud, show it's totally no servers. You got this. Ron says at least will not burn down in the data center. Yeah, it will only burn down in the office, which hopefully it doesn't. Leon confirms Vodafone cable really the worst ISP in Germany, so many problems. Yeah, and it's the first time, is it? I think this is the first time I have cable internet, and I can, at least this location is like total piece of garbage, and according to this article here, it's probably like everywhere. Roland says borders in Germany was completely open yesterday. So when we drove to France some 10 or so days ago, it was also, we were not stopped anywhere. We drove the same route there, avoiding Austria, Switzerland. So directly Switzerland 1 hour longer, just to avoid an additional border crossing, not to risk too many stops. Of course, driving there, France required negative PCR tests. So, but really tricky. Maybe I should. I mean, certainly I could make a 30-minute traveling in a post-pandemic, or hopefully end of pandemic stuff through Europe thing. Yeah, car was completely full. Previous video installed a roof box on our Mini to fit all the baby stuff in there, because with a baby and mother-in-law, countryman, is actually rather full, and so yeah, completely packed car with mother-in-law and baby and roof box. Thankfully not stopped anywhere. That would have been annoying, but of course we had negative PCR tests. France required that. I could even go into more details, really strange reporting issue in Italy. I wasn't really sure if we should fill out some paper for Italy. Theoretically, it sounded like we should have, but of course the internet form was garbage. So I actually, after filling it mostly out, it was hilarious. So I didn't click on submit because I wanted some crazy check marks and stuff. And I thought maybe it's not for transit, maybe it's only for arrival. Leave me in the comments below if you want to have some 30 minutes traveling through Europe stuff. But that is basically the short form. Even France wants some handwritten or like printed form with handwritten filling of members of arriving and reason and stay and stuff. Had of course filled out that, but nobody stopped us there, arriving in France there some 10 days ago. So yeah, 10 days ago nobody stopped us. Yesterday nobody stopped me. Although arriving from Italy to Switzerland, some people were stopped. Some huge, like larger SUV than our mini SUV I saw there standing, like I don't know what it was, maybe some BMW X whatever, 7 huge piece of garbage there. They had to unload all their shit. I have no idea why. Maybe they looked suspicious or in some database. And also next to me some like Mercedes Sprint or something. They were also questioned. Maybe they stop rather bigger vehicles with more than, maybe in a van, maybe multiple people, and maybe they check like traveling stuff or group stuff. But yeah, for me not. Thankfully that would have been annoying. Especially driving 15 hours and then having stupid questionnaires and unpacking all your shit. But anyway, yesterday my car was empty because I traveled anyway alone, getting back here. Jayton Senator likes beautiful language, happy to hear that. UK Stanford chimes in of we have no choice but BT. Yeah, previously this was, ironically this Vodafone stuff was previously Cable Germany, and also previously all the landline stuff was of course Telekom, German Telekom. Hey, now we have 130 dot frames, 0.2%, 5.5 Mbit. Yeah, so much for that. Ironically, in France Telecom, DOCSIS, cable stuff, I had 0 dot frames with 5.5 Mbit because obviously they are not Vodafone, failing garbage Germany. Linux Nerd says, legit wonder why internet is so bad at some places. There has to be some good reason for it. Yeah, in Germany, we are late, you know, this, I think the problem is, as usual, monopolies and state-run monopolies. So in Germany, we were late with this, German Telekom was running the copper cables, DSL, as long as they could. Ironically, there is this anecdote that in East Germany, after reunification, they actually put fiber into the ground, but then couldn't run ISDN over. Is it so? I didn't live there, but the saying is that they had top-notch, like after the reunification and new infrastructure stuff in East Germany, they had fiber but didn't use it except for running like analog, what is it, ATM or so, digitally packed stuff. But so they didn't get. Did they run ISDN over? Maybe they run ISDN, yeah, probably ISDN ATM over fiber. But then, again, leave me in the comments if that's no, I didn't live in East Germany in the 90s. But the saying was like, yeah, they only had ISDN like 64K, and didn't got DSL because DSL obviously over copper. So really hilarious. You have fiber infrastructure, although obviously old, well, new in the 90s, but 90s new fiber. But then only 64K ISDN because German Telekom only did analog DSL over copper lines. Then the usual stuff, right? No, new infrastructure costs money, so they run the old shit as long as it's humanly possible, and this is why most places still have 16. Like here, even this freaking building in the center of Berlin, Telekom, I just checked this week again, no VDSL, maximum 16K over old garbage copper lines because, and this is of course Vodafone, this cable previously they just purchased it some 2 or 3, maybe 3 years ago, this Cable Germany stuff. And this is of course also decade old coax lines, like think thin or thick Ethernet coax from the 90s or 80s and 90s. And yeah, they just run this old shit. Even this most modern DOCSIS is still just fancy modulation on decade-old cable TV lines. And as you see, even if as a business you complain for 2 freaking years that you don't get what you pay for and it's totally failing garbage, they do freaking nothing for 2 freaking years, as documented here on this channel. And just like, yeah, they just cash in the money. They like this pseudo-billionaire Trump there, just enjoying golfing and uncontrolled bubbling the whole day, jetting around the world, playing the biggest businessman, but not freaking investing into the infrastructure and customer satisfaction. Basically, as long as the customers are paying, like we, of course, I try to increase the pain point for them of annoying them every month or quarter, plus then at least demanding to pay less. Not that it would help that much, but at least making them at least feel a little bit pain in the accounting there. You get nothing. And also in Germany, we, like in other countries, even US, but US also mostly sucks. But in Asia, Taiwan, they just throw cables on some wooden posts or stuff, or even in the city, they just hang cable over the streets and stuff. And we don't do this in Germany until recently. In Germany, because regulations and stuff had to be properly, according to building standards, installed in the ground, usually at least in cities and stuff, and also like properly, I don't know, 1 meter, 1 meter 20 or whatever that was. It is of course expensive, this groundwork, and only since some, I don't know, 2-3 years or something, there's this micro trenching. This is only done in Germany. Like, what does it? It's just cutting their thin slice into the walkway, and of course decreases the cost significantly. Also, although maybe it was only 30 centimeters instead of 1 meter something with micro trenching. Of course, this probably decreases cost by magnitude. But yeah, although it comes with problems, right? Then 2 companies micro trench the stuff there in 30 centimeters and cut each other's cable and stuff. But anyway, that's basically the quick summary of the state of failing stuff. And in Asia, they just throw cables somewhere and don't even mean it negatively. Of course, drawbacks if there's too much storms and some cables sometimes cut and fall off and stuff. Hey, 490 drop frame, 0.7%. But yeah, this is why in like Asia, in Taiwan and stuff, you can innovate faster just throwing some fiber somewhere, and in Germany it's like, yeah, you need to have some permit and some and so on, more higher costs and stuff, and like, yeah. Anyway, that's probably the summary. Internet is pretty good. Wonder how these things happens. Yeah, stuff like this, and it's like, yeah, basically it probably comes down to management never wants to invest, or, well, actually it depends. Maybe at Apple, the difference is probably at Apple they invest, I mean, as much as Apple's hashtag peakbugs and stuff, but you certainly would agree that Apple invests into new developments, and that is the difference, right? Like Vodafone Telecoms, like, yeah, running old copper shit for decades, and until it's like, yeah, now we get DOCSIS, what is it, DOCSIS 3.1, and they even run still DOCSIS 3.0. And even we don't, in the center of Berlin, we don't get DOCSIS 3.1 here yet. Probably should check the frequencies if they finally switch this. But otherwise, yeah, DOCSIS 4 is also on the horizon. But the crazy thing is they already advertise this in the news, like, hey, gigabit and shit. When customers, business customers, complain, it's like here, Vodafone switches 400,000 installations to 1 gigabit. Like, yeah, unfortunately not ours, right? And this is the center of Berlin, right? And I don't be certainly at other places and countryside and stuff. It's for sure even worse. But yeah, 400,000 houses, 1 gigabit, unfortunately also, because this is DOCSIS 3.1. Like, yeah, Nordrhein-Westfalen, Hessen, Baden-Württemberg, DOCSIS 3.1 is like, yeah, obviously not Berlin, because why should in the capital of Berlin something be working? Anyway, that's it for this video. I guess we digressed enough. I hope your internet is better and you learned something. State of failing internet in good old Europe, and yeah, data center and moving. Probably need to get a VDAP van or a boat and leave this failing Yeah, because reasons. Anyway, see you next time.